All right. With that down, guys, let's talk about this. So episode 5? Yeah, 5 of WandaVision came out yesterday. I have been very pleasantly surprised by how much I've enjoyed this show. I mean, again, Marvel's stuff on Disney Plus has been very hit and miss. Some of it just straight up awful. Some of it pretty good. WandaVision was great.
Yeah.
I thought Ms. Marvel was great. But they've also had a lot of things that were just completely terrible. So, I mean, I had belief in this show because you had the person in charge of the WandaVision show is show running Agatha All Along. So that gave me some hope. But it's been better than I thought it would be. Been a really pleasant surprise. I'm enjoying the show. Let me get the smaller thing out of the way first. One of the things that bothered me about last night's episode, it was the shortest one yet. And on yesterday's show, we were talking about the run times of the episodes of Wanda. And I said, you know what? They haven't been long, but every episode, even, ones that have been a little under 40 minutes, have still felt like complete beginning, middle, end, fleshed out episodes. They've felt satisfying. I got a little concerned when I loaded up Agatha All Along episode 5, and I first saw 32 minutes. And that includes intro and like 4 minutes of end credits.
Right. So sitcom, almost sitcom.
Yeah. So I looked at that and I'm like, and like in the Scooby-Doo story, ruh-roh, uh-oh. And I will say this, while I think the episode was good, it felt the most like another Disney Plus show. This one felt rushed. It felt like, okay, we're doing this. Okay, now we're doing this. Okay, now this happens. End credit rolls.
Yeah.
And it was a good episode. This was the first time out of the 5 episodes that I really felt the limited real estate of time in it. Like they just really shot through it. And whereas all the other episodes had really good cadence and really good pace, I felt like this one was a little bit spinning out of control. Still a good episode. Still liked it. I just hope future episodes don't. I hope the future episodes are more like episodes 1 through 4 and less like 5 when it comes to runtime and pacing and all that kind of stuff. That's just me. But let's get to the main thing here. Apparently, this episode at the end, and a warning, I mean, this thing came out at dinner time yesterday. If you didn't watch it, you're probably not watching Agatha, but I am going to give away something that happens at the end of episode 5. So if you don't want to know what happens at the end of episode 5, hop on your broomstick and fly away.
Nice.
And come back in a bit.
Well done, pun.
So at the end, Wanda looks at Teen and says, "You're just like your mother." Hinting that Agatha knows who Teen is. And then Teen breaks out a bunch of power. And then this shot, which you might have, I don't know if you've got a picture of it, Jonathan. If you don't, just bring up the main thumbnail.
Well, I got that.
Oh, there it is. The shot where he's now wearing a headband that is not identical to, but not unlike Wanda's headband.
Pretty dang similar.
Pretty, one might say, ominously similar.
Yeah.
Now, of course, for a long time, a very popular theory has been that he's going to end up being Billy Wiccan. Then there was a Funko Toy Pot leak toy a while ago that had his figure and called him Billy. Of course, though, toy leaks have been wrong. The big Justice League one, the one from Flash, there have been some major errors or people thought this meant something and it didn't. But that's been the popular theory. Now, my position on this has always been very clear. Is it possible he's Billy? Sure. It's a comic book show. They could say, even though it makes no sense whatsoever, I've said on the show, they could say, oh, we have found the dark crystal of Umblubaplath, and that has manifested through the eye gemstone of Garuthafar, through the 7th dimension of Earth 72Q, and that has brought this. I mean, it's a comic book show. They can do it. I just haven't thought that they would.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense. Wanda did not have kids in the main reality.
She had imagination.
She had imaginary kids, but she didn't have real kids. She did not have children in this reality. And yes, you could say, well, there's a multiverse. Well, sure. But in some multiverse, Wiccan could have, or this teen could have been Gamora's kid. Teen could have been Thanos's kid. I mean, in some multiverse somewhere, maybe Thanos came to Earth and had a child with an Earth woman, and it turned out to be that, right? It makes as much sense. On some world in the multiverse, there's a penis cowboy sheriff who goes around and fights crime by bending over and shooting out his sperm six-shooter with the white ooey gooey justice. And that's how he stops criminals. I mean, it's multiverse. It could happen. So I've always said, could it be Billy? Sure, it could be.
Oddly enough, he just keeps creating more criminals.
The white goo of justice didn't set them straight in their ways. What? So anyway, so we always said, yeah, it could be because it's a comic book and they could do something. But I said, I don't think they will because it doesn't make any sense. And even if you wanted to go into the multiverse stupidity and say, well, in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness, they go to Earth 7555 and there she had the kids. Okay, well, even if you want to say that, this kid is way too old for that. Right? So she didn't have kids. If you want to go to some other world where she did, okay, well, those kids were too young. That can't be one of them. In the show himself, the kid's talking about his dad loves to use the sous vide and all that kind of stuff. So I said, it could be him. It's possible because it's Marvel, but I don't think it will be. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Life 360 Tile Trackers. So when I go out, I often bring my little backpack satchel. It's small and just big enough to hold my iPad, a backup battery, my wallet, and a few other things. Anyway, last year at a poker tournament, I thought I lost it. I freaked out for over an hour until I finally realized I had left it in the car. I wish that I had Life 360 Tile Trackers back then. And that's why you need Life 360's Tile Trackers. It's perfect for keeping track of all the important stuff that always seems to go missing. Keys, wallets, backpacks, you name it. If something's nearby, just ring your tile through the app, and if it's far away, you can track it on the map. Super simple. I've even got an electric bike that I keep in my backyard that would be pretty expensive to replace, so I slapped a tile tracker on that too. Instant peace of mind. And here's another thing I love. Unlike some other trackers, Tile won't alert thieves with notifications. It's great for families because it's not just about tracking stuff, it's about that peace of mind. So if you're ready to family-proof your family, head to tile.com and use the code Campea to get 15% off your Tile trackers today. That's tile.com, code Campea.
Maybe that's some kind of just Darkhold crown. So
Maybe it's
the only reason
maybe the kid is a Darkhold manifestation.
Yeah, the only reason that Wanda had it was because she turned to the Darkhold. Because I don't remember her wearing that before that. Maybe I'm wrong. So maybe he's like Mephisto's son or something like that,
or something. Now look,
yeah,
there is still a possibility, although it seems unlikely. There is still a possibility here that this is one of Marvel's big misdirects. Maybe. Like maybe this is I mean, after all, she did not say Wanda. She said your mother. I mean, so I guess it's possible that this could be one big giant Marvel misdirect. Kind of like they did with Mephisto in season 1 and kind of like what they did with Frank Bonner.
What? Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner.
Yeah.
I prefer the pronunciation Bonner.
Yeah.
But yeah, in season 1, maybe this is another one of those. I hope it is because that would make it make more sense. But it looks like they're doing the stupid thing and making this somehow, even though Wanda doesn't have kids, they're going to say it's Wanda's kid, even though that makes no sense. But whatever. So I got to say, though, that ending where he's like drowning them in the mud. First of all, he takes possession of the other two and throws Agatha in the mud and then tosses them in it too. And he's like clearly exhibiting a lot of power. That was a pretty good scene, man. That was a pretty good shot. I gotta say that was pretty good. I still hate the idea that they're making him Billy because it makes no logical sense whatsoever, even by the show's logic. But I got to give it, that was a pretty cool scene after they got out of the house. And you know what else I liked? I liked that they did the callback to WandaVision, where we see what happened to Agatha's original coven and her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually made Agatha a little sympathetic when you realize that the mother always hated, like, what chance did Agatha have when you had a mother that looked at you like that your whole life? So I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a misdirect? Do we find out at the beginning of episode 6 that this was a misdirect? Probably not. It's possible, but probably not. But then again, everybody, remember with the original Agatha, one of the big things I got wrong in the original WandaVision was I did not think Catherine Hahn was actually Agatha. I just said it feels too on the nose. I don't think she's going to be Agatha. Turns out she was. But one of the things that I got right, that everybody said I was an idiot for, was I said, that's not Quicksilver. And everybody's like, John, yes it is. So what? They're making it up. He's Quicksilver. They're crossing it over. And I said, no, he's not Quicksilver. So I was totally wrong about Agatha's identity in the first one. I was totally right about Quicksilver. I might be wrong about Billy's identity. Maybe we'll get lucky and he's not. But either way, as long as they tell a good story and make it entertaining, whatever you want to do, you could say he's, I don't know, the love child of Ant-Man and Black Widow. Why not? On some Earth out there in the multiverse, Ant-Man and Black Widow got together, rubbed uglies, and popped out this thing. whatever type of galactic entity this Billy is, we'll see. I know. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, listen, there was a lot of you guys that thought right from the beginning that this was going to be Wanda's kid. Do you feel like that's exactly what they just showed us? It certainly looks like it. Or do you think they're going to pull like a Frank Boner misdirect on us with the kid in the next one? I don't think it's likely, but I'm going to hope that they do. Even still, episode was pretty good. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.